Hello, and welcome to the Labyrinth of Limitations. If this is the first episode that you've caught and you get a little confused, I recommend going back to episode 1 and 2, learning basic kind of concepts there, and then coming back. But today we're going to look at the first 4 bars of All the Things You Are, once again, and share some of the things I like to practice on it right now. So we're looking at F minor 7, to B flat minor 7, to E flat 7, just that. Now F minor 7 is A flat major 6, and then B flat minor 7 is D flat major 6. And then there's things we can do on E flat 7, a bunch of things. The scale of scales, all of this stuff. And more, because I didn't even play family really much. So, so let's look at the beginning. So A flat major 6, the first move I'd like to just look at is moving from off chord to off chord between the 6 and the 2. So that's what I did. I did something like that. So what I did there is I'm going on, off, on, off, off, on. And I did some little embellishments going, if I'm on A flat major 6, I go up to the diminished note. If I'm on the diminished, I go up to A flat major 6. So that's just on to an off note, off to an on note. And then here, that's where I move to that. So that's one way, and you could do that anywhere. You go, whoops. You could do any number of things, but I did it somewhere down here. I went, All right, so anyway, moving on. So that's one thing that you could do is practice all the ways of taking the off chord of A flat major 6, moving it down a half step. But then another option would be to do the type of movement where A flat major 6 is the 6 on F5, moving to D flat major 6. So I go, so like this. Okay, so that was something. So A flat major 6. Whoops, so A flat major 6. And you could do it anywhere again. So it could be, you go, so you go, whoops, I'll try that again. Which is pretty. So that's just moving A flat major to D flat major 6. And all of this movement I'm doing, there is nothing that isn't in the space of thinking in this kind of Barry Harris way, the way he shared with us, and thinking of the elevator stuff that I've been sharing with you guys, which is a system I developed to do this stuff well on the guitar, which is just the floors of the elevator, as I've discussed, check out episode 16. And floors within floors, floors outside of floors, meaning that drop 2 has a little shell, so it becomes, I'm not really thinking while I'm doing it. My hands just memorized all these relationships, and it's really fun. Okay, so we did off to off by moving the off chord in A flat major 6 down a half step, and then A flat major 6 can move to D flat major by what I'm essentially doing is moving the root. I believe what is it? Yeah, so I'm moving not the root, but the 5th and the 3rd. So here's the 5th and the 3rd, which is nice to know, because then I can isolate that. You see, the 5th and 3rd, here's a 5th. You see, here's a 3rd. Whoops, 5th and the 3rd, 5th and the 3rd. Yeah, I got that's nice. Which we really should be able to see 5th and 3rd anywhere. So I go, all of that stuff is really powerful. So that's that move, but then you could also do the opposite. You could move upwards from A flat major 6. So you could go like, and then, okay, so got distracted, but you could go A flat major 6, and then you move the root and the root and the 6. So instead of moving the 5th and the 3rd down, you move the root and the 6 up. So that's the other parts of the chord. Move them up, and then move, and now I'm on the off chord in D flat major 6. So that's all that is. Okay, so that's all I have to do there is A flat major 6, move the root and the 6 up. So the way I find that really is I just move. How do I do that? So yeah, I just think of what I do is I just see the proximity of this to, I find the off chord in D flat major 6. So I just start thinking that way. So okay, so that's what I'm doing there, and I was going to say something else about that, but basically, yeah. So that's yeah. Also, you could just, of course, move from A flat major 6 chord to a D flat major 6 chord. So I got all these. So you know, of course. Okay, so let's move past that now. Now, another thing that I've been doing a lot of, and this is more advanced. So if that was, I think those are kind of cheap tricks if you know what we've done so far, because you can move an off chord down a half step, you can move the 5th and the 3rd down, you can move the root and the 6 up, and find those chords that move to D flat major 6. But then what about something a little bit trickier? Like, say, now once we're on D flat major 6, I'm thinking of this chord, you know, D flat major 6, I'm thinking of that, but I'm also seeing it. This note right here, for example, and all of these notes I'm doing this with, but I'll take this one. This is the root of D flat major 6. It's the minor 3rd of B flat minor 7, but the root of D flat major 6. And I always connect it to what it is in E flat 7, potentially, if I'm not treating it as one chord, but as a 2 chord, which I am. So I need to see this as the 7th. And that lets me run it if I want to. I could go, I could run it into single note lines and then back into scales of chord stuff, which is really powerful. So one way I get used to that now that I've been really liking is I play this, something similar to what I was doing, that kind of motion. But now, here I was thinking A flat major 6 diminished all the way, just thinking thirds, just, you know, and so on. But now I'm going to think D flat major 6. What I'm doing there is a little different, just in my mind. I'm not thinking of D flat major 6 with this motion. I'm thinking of E flat dominant 7th, the scale. I'm thinking of E flat dominant 7th in relation to D flat major 6, and also in relation to B flat minor 6. So I can bridge. You've heard me do that a few times today. It's kind of stuck in my head. Now I'm going to play B flat minor 6, but I'm going to go like that. I'm going to some variation. And that's basically what I'm doing. Here, I got an off chord, and I'm going to play the off chord note to an E flat major 6. So it's like I'm. So, what was it? I can do that all the way down because these are basically the same thing. It's just a polyphonic way of looking at E flat 7 and a monophonic way. Monophonic way is E flat 7. Polyphonic way, one of them, is E. Is all of that stuff. And I'm running into the tritones minor. I could also think just E flat 7, of course. And then into E flat minor 6. I mean E minor 6, which is the tritones minor. E minor 6 over E flat 7. So I could think, but I'm going to stick to thinking the 6 on the 5 because there's something I like about it that I'm going to in this type of situation. One thing is that now I could go, instead of going, I could go, and that's nice. It's a little more out because I'm doing a diminished note in B flat minor 6. That's nice. It's like that Lydian sound because that's the major 7th diminished note in the B flat minor 6 diminished scale. So that's nice. So that's an option. But then also what's really cool, so see what I've been practicing for a while now, and I've talked to you guys about this, is I connect all of these chords. This B flat minor 6, I am connecting it, and that's just, see? What is that one? B flat minor 6, I missed it. And so on. I'm doing that while I'm connecting B flat minor 6 into E flat 7. I'm doing thirds and E flat 7 above that. So I'm kind of in both of those worlds because they sit together really nicely if you practice it a bit. They're not separate. I don't see them as separate anymore. And then I've done the same thing with every voicing of a minor 6 chord connected to the dominant 7th that it expresses. So as a 6 on the 5. So that means I've practiced E minor 6 into A7 because it's the 6 on the 5 for A7. So I can do this. Which is really pretty. That could work anywhere. All of these pretty guys. Such pretty stuff. Anywhere that works. That's nice. I'll try that again. I haven't really done that. So this is B flat minor 6 with E flat 7 in thirds on top, and then I'm going to go. Half step. I've been doing that a lot lately, so it kind of is in my hands. So that is B flat minor 6 with E flat 7 on top, then E minor 6 with A7. That's really pretty. So of little things, and that's what's so nice about this is that that's wrong, but I guess that yeah, so such pretty stuff. All these just these pretty sounds. It's just bridging together. So anyway, I just would like to encourage that. So keep trying to look at, we all need to keep trying to look at the connections between single note lines and scales of chords. And gosh, there's so many things, there's infinite things to do, because when you think of, and there's so many things I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about family today. Talking about connections between the different chords, scales of chords, and also connections between the single note scale of E flat 7 and the 2 chord, D flat major 6, B flat minor 6, and E minor 6. But, and I touched a little bit just on accident on like half steps below, because I've been doing that so much lately. So that stuff just happens. That's E minor. So pretty. That's that augmented. So you go like such pretty sounds, all of that stuff. But then you could, of course, do like things like the chromatic scale concept, or all of that stuff. It's pretty, and that stuff is. So I should stop there, but I hope that this is kind of a little informative of some of the things that you can play on all the things you are. And it's just barely scratching the surface. So a student, I was kind of thinking about this because a student today was asking me if I ever move out of thinking about the Barry Harris way of thinking, and the answer is just no, I don't ever. Not for a moment. There's no reason to for me. No one's shown me any sounds that I can't get to this way, and I stay in one way of thinking the whole time. So it's completely cohesive, and so I don't have to think much. I can just let my hands and my ear think, and I can explore, and I can feel really alive and present with it, which is really for me the point. So anyway, that is some of the things that you can play on all of the things you are. And I'll follow up with something else before long. Take care and keep practicing.